Hello dear friend, and welcome to On This Day SMR with me, Edward Hertz, where we take a look back through history at events which took place on this day. The rain is gently pittering and pattering away on the window, and the fire is crackling away nicely in the hearth. So put your headphones on, sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey back through time. Today is Monday the 26th of February 2024, and we have 35 events to cover, going all the way back to the year 748 BC. Starting with the most recent event, which happened 3 years ago. A total of 279 female students aged between 10 and 17 are kidnapped by bandits in the Zamfara kidnapping in Zamfara State, Nigeria. 5 years ago in 2019, Indian Air Force fighter jets targeted Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist training camps in Balakot. 11 years ago in 2013, a hot air balloon crashes near Luxor, Egypt, killing 19 people. 12 years ago in 2012, a train derails in Burlington, Ontario, Canada, killing at least 3 people and injuring 45. In the same year, 17-year-old African-American student Trayvon Martin is shot to death by neighborhood watch coordinator George Zimmerman in an altercation in Sanford, Florida. 16 years ago in 2008, the New York Philharmonic performs in Pyongyang, North Korea. This is the first event of its kind to take place in North Korea. 29 years ago in 1995, the UK's oldest investment banking institute, Barings Bank, collapses after a rogue securities broker, Nick Leeson, loses $1.4 billion by speculating on the Singapore International Monetary Exchange using futures contracts. 31 years ago in 1993, World Trade Center bombing. In New York City, a truck bomb parked below the North Tower of the World Trade Center explodes, killing 6 and injuring over 1,000 people. 32 years ago in 1992, in the First Nagorno-Karabakh War, Khojaly Massacre. Armenian armed forces opened fire on Azeri civilians at a military post outside the town of Khojaly, leaving hundreds dead. 37 years ago in 1987, Iran-Contra affair. The Tower Commission rebukes President Ronald Reagan for not controlling his national security staff. 44 years ago in 1980, Egypt and Israel establish full diplomatic relations. 45 years ago in 1979, the Superliner railcar enters revenue service with Amtrak. 53 years ago in 1971, UN Secretary-General U Thant signs United Nations proclamation of the vernal equinox as Earth Day. 58 years ago in 1966, in the Apollo program, launch of AS-201, the first flight of the Saturn IB rocket. 64 years ago in 1960, a New York-bound Alitalia airliner crashes into a cemetery in Shannon Island shortly after takeoff, killing 34 of the 52 persons on board. 72 years ago in 1952, Vincent Massey is sworn in as the first Canadian-born Governor-General of Canada. 79 years ago in 1945, in World War II, US troops reclaimed the Philippine island of Corregidor from the Japanese, 88 years ago in 1936, in the February 26 incident, young nationalist Japanese military officers assassinate multiple cabinet statesmen and start a rebellion in downtown Tokyo, which is ended 3 days later. 89 years ago in 1935, Adolf Hitler orders the Luftwaffe to be reformed, violating the provisions of the Treaty of Versailles. In the same year, Robert Watson Watt carries out a demonstration near Daventry, which leads directly to the development of radar in the United Kingdom. 95 years ago in 1929, President Calvin Coolidge signs legislation establishing the 96,000 acres, or 390 kilometers squared, Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. 105 years ago in 1919, President Woodrow Wilson signs an act of Congress establishing the Grand Canyon National Park. 110 years ago in 1914, HMHS Britannic, sister to the RMS Titanic, is launched at Harland and Wolff Shipyard in Belfast. 115 years ago in 1909, Kinemacolor, the first successful colour motion picture process, is first shown to the general public at the Palace Theatre in London. 148 years ago in 1876, Japan and Korea signed the Treaty of Kangwa, which grants Japanese citizens extraterritoriality rights in Korea, opens free Korean ports to Japanese trade, and ends Korea's status as a tributary state of Qing Dynasty China. $154 years ago in 1870, the Beach Pneumatic Transit in New York City, intending as a demonstration for a subway line, opens. $209 years ago in 1815, Napoleon Bonaparte escapes from exile on the island of Elba. 230 years ago in 1794, the first Christiansborg Palace in Copenhagen burns down. 249 years ago in 1775, the British East India Company factory on Balambangan Island is destroyed by Moro pirates. "408 years ago in 1616, Galileo Galilei is formally banned by the Roman Catholic Church from teaching or defending the view that the Earth orbits the Sun. 418 years ago in 1606, the Janzoon voyage of 1605 to 06 becomes the first European expedition to set foot on Australia, although it is mistaken as part of New Guinea. 659 years ago in 1365, the Ava Kingdom and the royal city of Ava, Inwa, founded by King Tado Minbia. 758 years ago in 1266, Battle of Benevento. An army led by Charles, Count of Anjou, defeats a combined German and Sicilian force led by Manfred, King of Sicily. Manfred is killed in the battle, and Pope Clement IV invests Charles as King of Sicily and Naples. "1,660 years ago in the year 364, Valentinian I is proclaimed Roman Emperor. 2,771 years ago in 748 BC. According to Ptolemy, the epoch of the Nabanasa era began at noon on this date. Historians use this to establish the modern BC chronology for dating historic events. So that is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you found our little trip back through history both relaxing and informative. If you did indeed like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and also consider leaving a comment below. All feedback is very much welcome. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It will really help the channel grow and will ensure that you are notified of future videos. Be sure to turn on notifications so that you are notified of future videos as soon as they are posted. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.